Well, in chapter 1 of my book, The Naked Truth About Small Group Ministry, I really talk about why so many churches who start small group ministries fall flat on their face. And it comes from the pastor knowing the mission of the church and the vision of the church, but the members not knowing it. And when you have members who are consumers and who come to receive and not give anything back, and they're just looking for a really good children's program, you're going to find that it just basically turns into a really difficult environment to start small groups, because you see, small groups are for producers. They're not for consumers. And if you really want your church to live out missional small group life, or holistic small groups that are more than just a Bible study, more than just a fellowship group, more than just a prayer group, more than just an evangelism group, that are all those things, you're going to have to work overtime before you even consider small group ministry, if those are the kind of groups you want, in fact, and start working with them in a capacity to help them see their mission. So they've got to understand that, and that mission has to be very compelling to them. And then when you give them a small group, they'll be compelled to be productive in their small group. Otherwise, it's a complete waste of your time. And in chapter 1, you know, I worked very hard in the book not to just diagnose the problem and point fingers at people as to why, but to offer solutions. So in chapter 1, I talk about prayer groups. And in a nutshell, if you can get your people praying with one another in their homes for 5 or 6 weeks, you will find that many of them will find personal transformation, because they're finally being quiet and hearing God for themselves, and they're doing it in the midst of others in a small group. And I dive deep into that to help them understand. It's one idea of many, but you've got to get your people praying. When they start praying, they start hearing the Father for themselves, for their church, and they can then be transformed from a consumer to a producer. But if you think that putting them in a small group is going to transform them from consumerism to productive missional life, you've got another thing coming. It's just not going to work.